Ellen, I've realised that maybe last week I was a little unfair on you for watching Avatar, and so I've spent this last week doing a lot of Avatar research. I've memorised all the flora and fauna of Pandora. The flora and fauna of Pandora.
Fauna.
The flora and fauna of Pandora. And I'm ready to talk more about Avatar if you want to. I didn't go in with the right attitude before. I'm all yours. Whatever you want to say about Avatar, we can talk about it for as long as you like. I am ready.
I would prefer to do a quiz on A Plague Tale Requiem.
Show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Luke. I could talk.
That's fine. Just delete my Google Doc of Avatar hot takes. There's my phone.
I could talk about Avatar for a very long time.
Yeah, but let's not.
Long, interesting discussions about it. But also at the same time,
it was just a joke. It was an intro bit.
There's also not much you can say about it.
Yeah, there's not much to
because
say.
It was all said in 2009.
In the previous show of the weekend.
In the last week. If you haven't seen it, link in the cards.
If you haven't seen it because you saw the headline and thought, I don't want to watch that, then it's exactly what you think. We get it, it's fine. Don't have to watch them all.
Look, we were here to talk about video games and all other nerdy culture things as well, and that's a nerd.
John's nodding.
John's nodding.
In agreement, yeah.
You know, we're not just video games here, we're also films
Check
and
the
stuff.
channel description, folks. We have to talk about Avatar. Basically, we have to. Look up 2009 films.
Okay.
That will be our next show of the weekend. So in upcoming weeks, look forward to entire episodes devoted to discussing
2012,
the movie 2012.
Coraline.
We're not going to talk about that one because it's too good. But
X-Men's
2012 we can talk about. That's got
X-Men Origins
Dennis Quaid.
Wolverine. Oh, In the Loop is amazing, and Up. Okay, that was those two hits. Yeah, good.
You got to see Up in 4DX. You're not really experiencing it. How are we still talking about Avatar?
No, let's talk about A Plague Tale Requiem.
Yes, please.
What's wrong? Those last months on the road. After all that happened in Guyenne. Hugo was always worried that it would start all over again. But everything was so nice and quiet, and so I told him that maybe it was over. Come on, come.
A Plague Tale Innocence saw Amicia and Hugo travel across a plague and war-ridden France, dealing with soldiers that wanted to kill them and rats that wanted to strip the flesh from their bones. Delightful.
Ew.
The sibling duo are back in A Plague Tale Requiem with a wider range of abilities and weapons at their disposal. A few months after the previous game, they must now head towards southern France for a cure for Hugo's blood disease, avoiding yet more rats and soldiers along the way.
Well, if you want a cure for Hugo's blood disease, head down to Nice.
Yeah.
Côte d'Azur. This game sounds nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be in Monaco.
Yeah. Well, Luke, did you play A Plague Tale Innocence?
No.
I did.
But I understand that it's fairly unrelentingly grim.
Yes, but there is like a sprinkle of hope in there, enough that, you know, I kept playing and got 1,000 gamer score in it, got the full 1,000 cheese.
Is 1,000 gamer score as much as you can get in any given game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Unless
should I have known
DLC.
that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So, spoilers for the end of the last game. But little Hugo unlocks his power to control the rats. So if you've seen the trailer, there's a bit with like, he moves the rats around. That sort of happens. There's a rather epic boss fight at the end of the first game where you're like fighting a bishop and he's controlling rats and your little brother's controlling rats and then you're flinging a sling and hitting the bishop in the head with a rock. It's great. In this game, he now has these extra skills, and now at points you can utilise these plague flea carriers to jump upon and devour your foes, much like in Dishonored. So, Luke, I have this question for you.
Yes.
If you could set a swarm of animals on a person, what would they be?
Would I see from their point of view like you do in Plague Tale Requiem, because there's like a rat vision thing, it's kind of yellowy
Yeah,
looking.
I mean, you could do that, or you could go with the Dishonored thing, you just kind of like watch it happen over there.
I can choose to set any animal on.
Yeah.
Is it just one, or can I set, like, is it a swarm? Is it always a swarm?
Oh, it's always a swarm.
Oh, it's always a swarm.
A swarm of animals.
Crocodiles. Yeah, 1,000 crocodiles. No one would mess with you if you could do that, would they? If 1,000 crocodiles spawned on my location right now, assuming I wasn't crushed to death, I think I could maybe be okay. If I just stayed really still, perhaps they wouldn't notice me. They might not be hungry because, their adrenaline's up, because they're like, where am I? Why am I alive? Leaving me to just sort of edge away. People would have questions as to why there are 1,000 new crocodiles.
I was going to be like, kittens one hand, puppies the other. Are you more of a cat or a dog person or both?
Kittens one hand, wasps on the other. So it's like carrot and
what
stick.
What kind of day do you want?
What kind of, yeah.
Bees.
Yeah.
According to the game's Wikipedia page, the release of a new generation of consoles allowed the game to render more than 300,000 rats at once.
Wow. Well done.
Uh-huh.
Wow, it's incredible. Science and progress, the things we can do. We should all be very proud of ourselves.
But Luke,
yeah.
If you could put 300,000 of one thing into a game...
I think you know my answer is going to be crocodiles.
What would that one thing be? So just filled with
crocodiles. What was the number?
300,000.
300,000? I was just talking about 1,000 crocodiles. 300,000 crocodiles in Breath of the Wild? Are you serious? Yes, please. I'd go straight to Ganon. The Switch hardware couldn't handle it. It'd be like 1 frame a second, like
smoke coming out the back of it.
But Ganon's health bar would just be like, and then very juddery credits would play. Yeah, and then my Switch would melt. Well, I could put it in a game that could handle it, like hardware, like so the PS5 can handle this many rats. If you can handle that many rats, you can handle that many crocodiles. A crocodile is just a big rat.
A crocodile is just a big rat, Luke Westaway, 2022.
Yeah, and crocodiles roll, which animation-wise, very straightforward. That's just like one axis of spin.
Yeah.
You don't need it to animate in any other way.
You just have a still crocodile.
Still models of crocodiles go like... 300,000 of them. Okay, what's the next?
Okay.
What's the next question? Bearing in mind my answer will be crocodiles.
As part of Hugo's new rat powers, he can use the rat's senses to see enemies through walls. The explanation is that they can smell the blood, and so you kind of see someone's, their veins.
Sure.
Through the walls.
Don't feel you need to do that, video games. If you want me to see through a wall, you can just do that.
But Luke, if you could have one ridiculous animal sense as a power in a video game or in real life, what would it be?
Well, it would be
spinning abilities of a crocodile.
No, it would be a crocodile's ability to close its mouth with so much force and very, very, very weak muscles for opening my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I would eat my meal in one bite. I'd have to, because it takes so long to I'd bite so hard, all my teeth would shatter.
Yeah, I was about to say, would you not worry that your teeth would be shattered by the force?
My lower jaw would just fly through my brain. What kind of force can a crocodile close its mouth with?
Let's have a look. 16,460 newtons of bite force.
Wow, that sounds amazing, although
I think newtons.
It doesn't really mean much to me because I don't know how many newtons is a train going at you? I need a comparison. I need a sort of...
Yeah, how much could it crush?
Yeah, that's equivalent to 14 football pitches biting you.
So, right, okay, so the National Geographic, so it's £3,700 per square inch.
Yep.
PSI, or 16,460 newtons. By contrast, you might tear into a steak.
Yes.
With 150 to 200 PSI, or 890 newtons.
So we're talking 890 newtons.
Is like us going.
Call it a
meat.
Call it 1,000 because you've never seen me go at a steak. Versus.
Well, I haven't because you're vegetarian.
Yes, pescatarian. Well, you've never seen me go at a salmon.
Salmon.
a fish that really doesn't require much biting. Okay, 1,000 for a human, roughly, versus, what was it for a crocodile?
16,460.
So we're talking about biting with 16
times.
16 times
at
more
least.
powerful. I can't really think of any good powers that animals have.
But
Bees
like-
can dance.
But like the thing is, like, you can take an idea of like something that an animal can do and
got one.
gamify it.
I've got one. I think it's some insects, maybe ants. When one is under attack, it can emit a pheromone that brings many others to its aid.
Yeah.
I'd
So
like
just
that.
like, ah!
No, but the way I would use it, like if you're at a party and you're in a conversation you don't want to be in, I could silently,
Just be like-
undetectably,
just be like,
yeah, exactly.
and I'd be like, hey Luke, I need you for that thing, and get you out of the situation.
Exactly. Just
As-
be having a chat like, oh yeah, how's it going? And I'm just secretly like, now, pheromone. Do you know what else would be good? Like, if I, a pheromone to get the attention of anyone's help you needed. So like, if you're at a train station, the timetable board is so confusing. There's delays on the line. I don't even know. Someone, someone in a high vis comes over like, hello, how can I help? What's the quickest way to get to Charing Cross or something?
Yeah.
Yes, you need blah, 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 blah. Yeah, exactly. Gosh, we've been waiting a little while for our food. Hello, is everything all right? It's been a little while since we ordered. Like, just check on that. I emit a pheromone that just generally gets me.
and then someone else walks in and goes, smells it, goes, service is a bit slow in here.
I emit a pheromone that gets me service. That's
But it's all to avoid that. Excuse me, I'm really sorry. Like it's to
it's to avoid
avoid that awkward
Also,
first interaction because
in a
we're
cafe
British
or a
and
restaurant,
socially awkward.
Yeah, I can't relax if I know I need to ask someone. I don't mind at all asking people for help.
No,
I'm always
no,
the first
no.
one to volunteer to like telephone a place.
Oh my
or,
gosh,
like, ring
Luke
someone
is
up.
our phone guy.
Yeah, apparently-
we're all at an event, none of us like
Oh my
talking on the
God.
phone, and we're like,
Don't get me
Luke.
started. Apparently, it's an incredible superpower to be able to phone somewhere where they have a phone that you can phone them on and are therefore expecting your phone call. Hi, do you have any tables outside? Or hi, what time do you close? And they tell you the answer and you hang up. And everyone's like,
I was literally at an escape room the other week, and there was a bit where you could phone someone.
what, in the escape room?
In the escape
So
room.
you had to do it for
and
the
I,
escape
and I
room.
just went, no, this is every millennial's worst nightmare. And then I phoned the number. Hello. I didn't know what to ask this person. I thought I was just going to get a clue, and they're like,
But they
hello.
know that
I'm like-
because you're in
and
the
I'm like,
escape room.
I don't. My friend's boyfriend was with us, and I was like, can you? And you know what? Later on, I found the person who was looking after that game was a viewer of Outside Xtra. So
Oh, wow. Say hi.
they saw me panic and phone call.
In my mind, you throw the phone. I don't feel it myself, but I understand
I think
that people don't want to talk on the phone. I
It's
get
just
it.
that thing that I can't read their face, and I need to have eye contact.
Would you
with-
FaceTime a restaurant?
No.
No, I can see your pupils go no. So much worse.
But like, no. It's not the interacting with someone.
Yeah.
It's the 90% of the time, like because we've all been locked inside our houses. I am just like feral looking. So
I see, right,
I would
yeah.
have to stop and look presentable.
Oh, yeah. That's what's so good about the phone. They can't see you.
With all your curry stains standing there.
Yeah, exactly. I
just like
could be
there.
sat there in my pants, covered in curry stains, hair's a mess. Hello, excuse me. If I can buy about 7, are you likely to have any tables by the window? I'm quite partial to the view over the river. Oh, you think you will be quite busy around that time. I see. And does it generally ease up a little around 9? I'll have my butler carry me. Okay, so that's A Plague Tale Requiem.
Well, wait, hang on. I've got one
there's
more
more.
question
Okay,
left.
yeah.
Amicia and Hugo are journeying south, looking for an island off the coast of France where Hugo can get better. Luke, where would be your ideal place to convalesce? So here you are. There's Luke. I'm heading off my convalescence It is.
I always thought that there was something quite romantic in period dramas, like set in Victorian or Edwardian times, where someone is not very well. They're always sent away to convalesce to the coast, like for sea air, you know? So I quite like the romantic image of like myself in a chair that my butler has carried out to the cliffs in Cornwall or something, like with a blanket over me, just being like, It's like looking out over the sea.
As your butler carries you.
My butler's carried my chair out and put me down there with some blankets. And there's, maybe a little glass of sherry. Probably the thing that's making me ill.
Yeah,
but
it's liver damage.
Yeah, but it's not well understood at the time. So I'm just like sipping sherry. Yeah. Cornwall. I'd go to convalesce in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Of course, not if I had to drive there, parking on those roads. Also, I'd eat so much fish and chips that I'd simply expire.
A huge number of veggie pasties.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be me in my little chair with the blankets looking out over the sea with a massive steaming heap of Cornish pasties. The thing that's making me ill.
He's got gout. You know?
Yeah, the doctor comes by with an old-timey stethoscope like, that's odd, they're not getting any better. That's funny.
Also, fun fact, Charlotte McBurney, who is Amicia in the game, was at the Outside Xbox 10th birthday bash.
No way, really?
And I fangirled very heavily. I was like, oh my god, I love that game, you were so good. And we had a lovely discussion about how good the younger characters, there's a lot of younger characters, like the little boy who plays her little brother, and
Little
about
Hugo.
how good they all were, and just, you know, good work ethic.
Never work with animals or children. Lots of both in Plague Tale Requiem.
Oh god.
Who voiced the rats?
I don't know.
10,000 rats. For authenticity, each recorded one line. Beep. You put them all together. It's just like. Yeah.
You know, it's not a massive, ridiculous game, but it's It's
Andy said something similar. It's that it's between indie and AAA, of which there are all too few games. Really.
Yeah, and it's a really good experience that has sat with me in a good way. In that, like, the puzzles in it are brilliant. I'm wondering if the introduction of new things will reduce the number of puzzles in it and make it more of a stealth game, which I don't mind.
Yeah,
but I'd be interested to see. It's also a slightly longer game than the first one, and I don't know whether that will be good or to its detriment. I'm interested to see, because I felt like the original game was just like, good length. It looks entirely my jam. Again, I want more of those light puzzles with, as in physically light, you know, with the flames, and moving around rats and setting rats on people. That'd be good. Crocodiles. So that's A Plague Tale Requiem.
We've learned
so much about that game.
Yeah.
And crocodiles.
I've learned a lot about how hard crocodiles bite.
Yeah.
The answer is very, very hard biting crocodiles. But very, very weak muscles to open their mouths. So you can just put a rubber band around their mouths. And they're powerless. I guess they can still roll. Mm-hmm. They could look at you imploringly.
Whip your tail.
Yeah, whip your tail. Look at you as if to say, take off my rubber band, please, please. And you're like,
eyes.
Okay, but you better not. Ah! And then death roll, death roll.
Anyway, yeah, the rat game looks good.